Good evening, bro. My take is that the forthcoming elections, the presidential elections and other elections that will be coming up soon are very important for our country. Everybody is aware of the current situation the country is in. So these elections, in my own view, are a momentous opportunity for us Nigerians to take our stand. We have to ask ourselves the question, are we satisfied with the current state of affairs, or do we want a clear paradigm shift? So that is how I see it. This is an opportunity for us to, so to say, overhaul the existing situation in the country and entrench leadership that will propagate the right values, turn things around, and take us to a better place. My candidate, my unequivocal candidate is P.O. Peter Obi, Mr. Peter Obi. That is my candidate. I will be voting for him on the day of election, by the grace of God. The simple reason I'm supporting Peter Obi is that, in my own view, out of all the candidates contesting for the presidential election, he's by far the most qualified. Nobody is a saint, as the saying goes, but from I've taken time to read about them, read about their policies, check out their histories and the rest of them. I think that he's the best person that can take us out of the doldrums we are currently in. One, he's obviously very qualified. Like, I'm not saying the others are not qualified. All of them are constitutionally qualified, but in my own view, taking a look from when he was governor of Anambra State for 8 years, the coherent manner in which he led the state, because I was a student of Nnamdi Azikiwe University then, so I was in Oka for some years. In my own view, he did very well in the areas of education, healthcare, infrastructure, and security. He did very well. Not just that he did well, he cut costs. He cut the cost of governance, because it is known to all and sundry that in Nigeria, governance is very wasteful. Sometimes you see a governor coming out, he has a 20-car cavalcade, he's all over the place. So he was able to cut down the cost of governance. He brought corruption down to the minimum. You understand? And this is someone that has challenged people severally. That on the day he left his position as governor, he left so and so amount in Diamond Bank, Access Bank, Fidelity Bank. He has asked everybody, go and check it. Nobody has ever said that the facts are not there or that it's a lie. Even the succeeding government and the current government, nobody has ever been able to come out to say what he said is not true. This is someone that, unlike most other governors, finished his term. He does not collect pension from Anambra State. He has not taken anything from Anambra State. They wanted to give him a plot of land. He said no. So we want someone that can lead by example. Someone that we can call to order. Someone that can be held accountable. So, with due respect to the other people contesting, I think that at this point in time, the last thing we want in Nigeria is more of the same. We don't want that. PDP has been there for many years. They did their best, I believe. They actually did better than APC. APC has been a debilitating disaster in my own view. There is no single area of national life that I can give them pass mark. So at this point in time, of these three main candidates, the other candidates, so no disrespect to them, but out of the three main candidates, PDP candidates, APC candidate and Labour Party candidate, I think we all should come out to support Obi. Now, yes, I'm an Igbo person, but I'm not supporting Obi because he's Igbo. I will give you an example. If Oshibanjo had come out as the candidate of APC, I would have really had a hard time to decide between Osinbajo and Obi who to support, because to me both of them are smart, they are progressive, you know. I feel both of them are very good leaders. But out of these people coming out, in my own view, the best candidate is Obi. And I believe that if he comes in, everybody keeps talking about corruption in Nigeria, but we need someone that we can hold accountable. Because if the person at the top is not corrupt, he does not believe in nepotism, he's not financially corrupt, he is held accountable, every other person will be held accountable. I know that the problems of Nigeria cannot be solved in one day, but we need someone that can at least kickstart the change. Not the verbal change that APC promised us, but someone that can lead us, show us the way, cut the cost of governance. For example, this is Nigeria where we have a president that goes abroad for medical treatment. Why? Meanwhile, billions of naira every year are appropriated to Asura Clinic. Is it that we cannot have a system, we cannot entrench a system in Nigeria where he can receive treatment in Nigeria? You don't ever hear that a president of America has left America for treatment, or the Prime Minister of Britain has left Britain for, or the French president has left France for. So it's embarrassing. It's something that cannot continue. You talk of insecurity. We don't even travel again. If you don't have money for flights now, you stay in your house. People are scared these days. Any place you are going to now, you are going there because it's necessary. Nothing like random movement again. Because the country is not safe. You talk of herdsmen, talk of Boko Haram, talk of kidnappers, talk of unknown gunmen. It's too bad. So we need someone that has a coherent plan, fight poverty, you know, have a serious revamp of education. I mean, some months ago, ASU was on strike for nearly, I don't know, about 8 months or so. And this is 2023, 2022, 2023. You can't allow such things to happen. So we need someone that can come in and lead by example, someone that is healthy, someone that is sound, someone that is reasonably corrupt-free. At least there is no evidence to show that the person is corrupt. I know nobody is a saint, but so far, if you check all these indices, I think Peter Obi is by far the best. You talk of the presidential candidate of APC, no disrespect to him. His history is marked by opacity. No, we are not even sure of his name, we are not sure of his age. His health condition is really bad. Sometimes one even has to interpret what he's saying. I mean, that is not something. The other candidate, with due respect, he comes back for elections and then he goes back to Dubai. He doesn't even live in Nigeria. So we need someone that can feel the pain, someone that understands what we are going through, someone that will come out. What we need in Nigeria, we need someone that will take care of the basics. We don't need any big, just the basics. Cut down corruption, cut the cost of governance, eradicate poverty in a sustainable manner. Address the core issues, security, budget imbalance, and the rest of them. That is what we need. And it is my view that Peter Obi is the best candidate out of the people coming out that is squarely positioned to tackle these issues. And for that reason, God giving me life and good health, on the 25th of February, I'll be voting Peter Obi as my candidate for president of Nigeria. Yes, that was a very good question. I need a Nigeria where all the basics are taken care of. I mean, these things are not far-fetched. We want a country where, number one, where there is security. Where if I want to go to Lagos, I want to go to Abuja, I want to go anywhere, I can just enter. If I don't have money for flights, I can enter public transport, or I can enter my car, start it and go without fear of robbery, kidnapping. That is one. Security, a place where there is security. I want a country where this unnecessary divisiveness is stopped. In Nigeria where there is reasonable unity. I know you cannot have 100% sense of unity, but I'll give you an example. I did my secondary school at FGA Suleja, Niger State. In my room then, we had a member of every ethnic group. In a typical room, you have an Igbo, you have an Hausa, you have a Yoruba, you may have someone from Tiv or Idoma, someone from Ibibio or Efik. All of us were there. There was nothing like, oh, this is an Igbo person. All of us, we spoke English. To the extent I can remember, there was nothing like, oh, this guy is your brother because he's... Some of my good friends were Yoruba people. I had good friends from Hausa. I had good friends from Igbo. So, and that's how Nigeria is meant to be, a place where everybody is your brother, where opportunities are given on the basis of meritocracy. That's another thing I picked up from that school, meritocracy. All of us were there on the basis of meritocracy. Nobody cared about who your father was, where you came from. All we wanted was, who is the best person that can do this thing? So I'm looking forward to a Nigeria where, number one, there is security. Number two, all these unnecessary ethnic and religious divisions are eradicated. See what is happening in Southern Kaduna, for example. It is terrible now. We need a place where I can go to Sokoto and feel at home. Someone from Kano can come to Enugu, he feels at home. No, there isn't anything like, oh, he's from here, so marginalize him. Look at America, for example. You see in America, if you stay in a country for a number of years, you can even vote there. You understand? For example, George Bush's brother, Jeb Bush, was not governor of, I think, Florida or so. He was governor of a state, even though that's not the state where they grew up in. So I want a Nigeria where someone can come to Ebonyi now. If he stays there for 10 years, he pays his tax, he's a law-abiding citizen, he can decide to contest for anything in Ebonyi. Someone goes, you know, that kind of thing. I remember reading that the first mayor of Enugu was a northerner. You can imagine. So that's the kind of country we need, where you feel at home anywhere. That's number two. Number three, we need a country where there is meritocracy. Don't give this federal character rubbish, should be truncated. Give people positions on the basis of competence. Not, oh, this is my brother, this is my sister, this is from my... No, on the basis of competence. That's why in Canada now, a Nigerian is their justice minister. There was a time, for many years, the governor of the Central Bank of England, McCann, a Canadian. So we need a country where there will be meritocracy. If I'm not the most qualified, don't give me. Give someone that is better qualified. So we need to entrench meritocracy. Look at the tenure of Obasanjo. Look at the tenure of Goodluck. Part of why they did reasonably well is that they mostly use technocrats. See someone like Okonjo-Iweala, to the extent I know, I don't believe she's a card-carrying member of any party. But you see the quality there. You see Olusegun Oganga. You see some other people. So we need to have a country where, both in the civil service, in the military, in appointing ministers, commissioners, judges, and the rest of them, the number one characteristic, or the number one thing that should be looked at is competence. Who is the most competent? That's number three. Number four, we need a country that is anchored on the rule of law. Not one that, if the judgment of court favors the government, they will implement it. If it does not favor them, they won't implement it. For example, this Nnamdi Kanu something. They gave a clear judgment, you know, ordering his release. Till now, it has not been effected. So we don't need that. We need a country where the rule of law will be respected and obeyed. Whether it's for or against the government, let it be obeyed. That's what we need. You look at all the... Okay, let me give you an example. Look at London, United Kingdom. Do you know that so many people in other countries have business disputes and they choose the legal system of UK as the law that should be utilized? Many people come to London to resolve their issues either in their regular courts or through arbitration or through mediation, because the country has a system of law that is just as arguably the best in the world. So even international investors, local investors, they will not want to come to Nigeria if there is no security, there is no rule of law. So we need a country where the legal institutions will be strong. Only the best people will be appointed as judges. You don't just appoint people as judges because, oh, the father was chief judge or the husband is a commissioner. Appoint competent, qualified people as judges and magistrates. Pay them well, you know, and obey the decisions of courts. That's the basic minimum. We are not talking of something, we are talking of the minimum here. That's another thing. Then we need to face some big issues squarely. For example, the issue of all these oil wells, the issue of oil subsidy, the issue of this whole rubbish about federal character. I mean, that affirmative action, I think it has overstayed its this thing. Then that Steve Oronsanye report, I believe that report has to be implemented immediately, because you look at the cost of governance in Nigeria, you see that the center is overbloated. I'll give you an example. We have salaries and wages commission, and we have revenue and mobile fiscal allocation commission. Essentially, these two bodies are doing the same thing. Why not merge them, or even merge them and make one, maybe a department in Ministry of Finance? We have so many agencies that are replicating their functions unnecessarily. We have EFCC, we have the other one, ICPC. We have Code of Conduct Bureau. All of them, we have special fraud units. All of them are fighting fraud and corruption. I mean, so we need to find a way to implement. Government does not create jobs by creating more agencies and putting people. That's not the best way to create jobs. Put the adequate environment, the right policies, let there be security. You see that people will create jobs. So there are some hard decisions that the new president has to take. Then, obviously, in almost every developed country, at least 10% of the budget is spent on education, up to 10% is spent on healthcare. So we need to actually devote more time to education and healthcare and find a sustainable paradigm that can offer a sustainable solution, to the problems there. I mean, in Nigeria now, I'm telling you the truth, see how many doctors that have left Nigeria. I have at least more than 10 of my friends that have left Nigeria that are medical doctors. So that is something that we cannot allow to keep happening. We need to find a way to rejig the healthcare and education system in Nigeria. Make sure doctors are well paid, teachers, lecturers, the right atmosphere is there. These are things that ought to be taken for granted in this 2023. I mean, you should be in your house. If you feel sick, you should be able to make a call. They come and take you, rush you to hospital and treat you. Now, one of the good things this government has done is passing of the Nigerian Health Insurance Act that they passed last year. That's a very good move. But we have to find a way to make sure that that system works. When there is universal health insurance, you understand? We can start from people that work for government, make sure there is little deduction from their salary. From there we can enter the private sector. If there is universal health insurance, it will seriously reduce the mortality rates and accentuate longevity for Nigeria. So these are some of the small things at the basic minimum we should tackle. Cost of governance should go down. Corruption should go down, and you fight it in two ways. One, using technology. Two, leading from example, because if the person at the top is not corrupt and does not tolerate corruption, then everybody will have no option. Like if you have a governor that does not take kickback, his commissioner for works cannot take kickback, the speaker cannot take kickback. But if you have a governor that takes kickback, that means there's no way the SSG will not take, commissioner for works will take, speaker will take. So at the end, you award a contract of 5 billion and they have used 2 billion to settle people. Why do you think they will not do this? Even if they end up carrying out the contract, they will do a shoddy job. And who is there to probe them? Then another very important issue is this issue of restructuring. The kind of federal system we practice now makes mockery of the federal system. Yes, I know it's one of those vestiges from the military era where there was over-centralization, of powers. But the military has gone. They left since 1999. And something must be done to give more powers to the federating units. I mean, in a federal system, only some core basic things should be assigned to the center, such as minting of currency, external relations, external security, and the rest of them. Now, we need to find a way where we entrench fiscal federalism. Let every state manage their resources and pay premium to the federal government. That's it. Because this system where at the end of every month, the commissioner for finance of every state goes to Abuja and collects the allocation and comes back. is not sustainable. It has made the states unproductive. The example I usually give is, imagine as you are now, government says, okay, every month they will pay you 200,000. You don't need to do anything. Just at the end of the month, as a citizen of Nigeria, you get a salary of 200,000. If you are not careful, you will not be productive again. What you just tell yourself is, instead of going to stress myself and these people will pay me salary of 100k, they're already paying me 200k here. Let me just find a way to live within the 200k. Is it not? You'll be unproductive. So we need to find a way where every state is allowed to exploit whatever resources they have and then pay a premium to the federal government. That is basically what happened when the regional system was practiced before the first coup and the entry of the military into leadership. That's what we need to do. So for me, the confab of, I think 2019 or 2018, that confab, the confab report should be implemented. The people have to come together and have the political willpower to implement it. So these are some of the things that we can do, and we can start taking our place where we are meant to be. It's really embarrassing because when you read about the Asian Tigers, read about the Emirates, the countries that make up the United Arab Emirates, Scandinavian countries and all the rest of them, and then you check Nigeria, you see where Nigeria is. Even in Africa, if we are to be honest and realistic, we are just big. Right now, you can argue that South Africa is better off than Nigeria. Rwanda is better off. Kenya is better off. Egypt, even with their crisis, should be better off too. So these are things that, with the right leadership, in a matter of years, we should be able to get right. So I'm hoping that people come out and vote this time, not on the basis of ethnicity, religion, sentiment, or even party. Me, I'm not a Labour Party person. I don't even care about Labour Party. But it's because of Obi. Even if Obi had come out in ABGA or PDP or even APC that I don't like, I would have voted him. If Oshibanjo had come out, I would have had a hard time deciding between Oshibanjo and Obi. You understand? Let's say who else is in PDP that is good? There are some people that will come out, you say, okay, let's say someone like Okonjo-Iweala had come out in PDP. Imagine Okonjo-Iweala had come out in PDP, Oshibanjo in APC, Peter Obi in Labour. I for really take time thinking about who to vote. So that's what we want. We are not just voting based on, in this election, let me even tell you the truth. I'm going to vote different parties in this election because who I will vote for, the party I will vote for president is certainly not the party I will vote for governor. And the party I will vote for governor, I don't think is the party I will vote for senate. So I'm going to vote people that I feel can do the right thing and take us to where we are going. That is it for me. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Bless you too. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.